And I think Italy really had the emotion. And whenever you're in a tight playoff like that and you have the emotional drive, I think you forget about the other circumstances and you just play the game. Do you think that was the key to Italy's success?
Well, it was a funny thing with Italy, because I was watching them in the first phase, and they really struggled and did nothing. They were the Italians of old, where, you know, if anyone went past them, they stopped them by any means. Not really very good to look at, and had a lot of trouble against Poland. They had a lot of trouble against Cameroon. They had a lot of trouble against Peru. And Peru, in the last 10 minutes, you know, were really having a go at the Italians, and the Italians might not have even qualified for the second stage. But then they had so much criticism at home in the press, because I met a lot of press lads that had come across from Italy who came to the England training sessions, and really they deserted the Italians, you know. They said, oh, they're not worth following, you know, what's England's chances? And I said, well, England's chances not too bad. And they said, oh, the Italians have gone, you know, they've had it. It's the old family business, whereas the same players are playing, the really old players are playing, and they're not giving youngsters a chance. And yet, because they criticised them so much, the Italian players picked themselves up, and the ones that actually won the World Cup for them were their experienced players, your Dino Zoffs, Gentile, Antonioni, and Tardelli, and Paolo Rossi, who really you couldn't class as an old player, but nevertheless have been around for a while.
What about the final, Italy and West Germany? Of course, West Germany's leader was really hurting, but that might have had something to do with it.
Yeah, well, Rummenigge was injured, the centre forward. He's been European Footballer of the Year for 2 years, and he was a great miss in the earlier part of the competition, but then he played well in the semi-final against France, made a big impression when he came on, and they actually won on penalty kicks, if you can remember, and got through to the final. I don't think he was fully fit and didn't really contribute as much in the final as people would have liked, Rummenigge. But the Germans had lost a lot of sympathy, a lot of public sympathy, when the goalkeeper came out and Battiston, the Frenchman, was clattered and taken from the field. So the real fans, I think, wanted the Italians to do well. And up to half-time it looked quite close. The Germans appeared to be reasonably strong. But the very long extra time that they'd suffered against the French told on them in the end, and the Italians just took charge. It wasn't an exciting match, as exciting a match as had gone on before. But nevertheless, you know, I think most people would realise that if you beat Argentina, Brazil and West Germany, you deserve to win the World Cup.